If you would like to support Mercado Airwaves, visit us at patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves. Find us on iTunes at Mercado Airwaves. Keep up to date with the show on Facebook at Mercado Airwaves. You can see all of Nicole's work at typingwhentipsy.wordpress.com. You can follow Alex on Twitter at Mercado21Alex. Follow Mike on Twitter at mmercado2333 and on Instagram, MikeMercado2333.
What's up, friends? Mike here from Mercado Airwaves. If you missed any one of our past interviews with amazing guests like future Hall of Famer and pound for pound best fighter in the world, UFC flyweight champion Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson,
another day at the office, I get to go out there and test my skill.
to award-winning producer, director, and actor Orlando Jones,
Orlando, how you doing, buddy?
Hey, sir. I'm good, brother. How you doing?
and all the other interesting guests we've had on. Joining us today is director and writer David Ferrier.
Thanks so much, brother. I appreciate you having me on the show.
MMA legend Chael Sonnen joins us today.
Keep listening to your show. This is great. Thanks, my friend.
Just subscribe to us on iTunes at Mercado Airwaves. And while you're there, please like, review, and rate us, friends. It helps so much. We also have a Patreon for anyone who would like to support the show. Just visit us at patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves and see how you can get all of our interviews ad-free and before anyone else, and how you can get your business or company spotlighted on the show. Follow us on Twitter at mmercado2333. Like us on Facebook at Mercado Airwaves. Subscribe to us on YouTube, youtube.com/MikeMercado2333. And if you would like to see what we're up to behind the scenes, follow us on Instagram, MikeMercado2333. Thanks for listening and all the support.
And here we go.
Get ready, get set for the best movie and pop culture talk in the universe. It's The Good Brothers on Mercado Airwaves with your hosts, Alex Mercado and Mike Mercado.
Welcome back to the Good Brothers. I'm Alex. That's Mike. Venom. See, my Venom sounds like Batman or Triple H. Like, I don't. Do you get Venom? Try it. Try your best. Just on the spot right now. Try your best.
As far as I'm concerned.
No. Yeah, yours is more Joker and like a Pennywise.
Yeah.
Yours is a Pennywise.
Yeah.
So Venom's a lot harder than I thought it was.
Because here's the thing, and I think Tom Hardy brought it up. It's like it's a mixture. Tom Hardy's voices are real people that he just obviously with voice modulation in the studio, but like Tom Hardy literally picks people out in like real history and like real media, and he kind of transforms it into his own character. But that's right, good brother. We went to go see Venom, and for a movie that's being critically panned for the most part, let's say out of every...
It's interesting.
Yeah, it's getting about a
Very
30-something% on Rotten Tomatoes. It's got a high score, though, for the audience. The audience likes it. Over 70%.
It's almost like that tomato meter really doesn't mean much in it unless we let it.
Right. So, before we dig deep into Sony's new hit... Because that's what it is a smash hit.
It's a smash.
Yeah, well, you can follow us everywhere in the universe. Alex is on Twitter at Mercado21Alex and on Instagram at Mercado2121. I'm on Twitter at mmercado2333 and on Instagram, MikeMercado2333. If you would like to follow Nicole, she's everywhere in the universe at Typing When Tipsy. So follow her on Instagram or on Twitter. You can follow us all over and what we're up to on Facebook. Just like us at Mercado Airwaves. Subscribe to us on YouTube, youtube.com/Mercado Airwaves Network. Check out our interviews with athletes and celebrities ad-free before anybody else on patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves. And a huge thank you to the people that power us here on the Mercado Airwaves Network at Munch Art Design. So good brother, you and I and Nicole and Chico and a movie theater filled of people saw Venom opening night on Thursday, and we went in there, I would assume, with lower expectations because of kind of like the talk that was going before the movie. But good brother, I liked it. I will say this: it's a slow 40 minutes, and I told you that as soon as we walked on. I'm like, they came. Is that a breaking news? Is that breaking news?
It is confirmed by IGN and Warner Brothers. James Gunn is writing Suicide Squad.
Wow, yes. They finally confirmed it?
Writing for an installment of Suicide Squad, so I believe part 3. But it is announced by Warner Brothers and IGN officially while we're recording that he is writing an installment of Suicide Squad.
All right, so we'll go back into Venom for a second, but Suicide Squad 2 just lost their director.
I think so, or that I don't know.
I think they lost their director.
I don't know if this is for part 2. Right now, that's all they can say. So I think this may be one of those things. We're not going to talk too much about it. It's new. Is this their way of bringing them in, saying, "Hey, you're gonna write it. Hey, by the way, you want to just direct the thing?"
And we'll
okay, cool. You're directing now.
And just complete transparency of us recording this episode of The Good Brothers. We're recording it a day earlier, so maybe next episode we'll have definitely some more information about it. But it's kind of cool. We had breaking news literally in the middle of recording.
That never really happened, so that's fun.
So back to Venom.
So the first 40 minutes.
I didn't like it.
I'll agree with you. We both said something. We're like, yes.
It almost lost me.
2 versus 2, exactly. One, it was 1 minute away from losing me.
Yeah.
And 2, if that is not Tom Hardy for 40 minutes, you would be lost. But Tom Hardy is so charming, and I think that's his character. It's very charming. It's very much like not an everyman necessarily, but not a hero. He's very just like. You're like, I buy that. I buy that guy.
Which is interesting because Eddie Brock is never portrayed that way in any media. Yeah, he's a dick. He's the mixture of Flash Thompson meets like almost the Punisher, where it's just this big brute who just is always his answer is his fist. But like this Eddie Brock is much more Tom Hardy. It's just a Tom Hardy.
It's more of an Incredible Hulk.
Yeah, it's very interesting.
But more control.
Now let's go into. So what I didn't like about the movie, obviously, is the first 40 minutes.
We agree on that.
I don't like how they use Michelle Williams. Obviously,
yes, it was a bit wasteful. But again, here's my thing with that: is could you have done more with her? Yes. Do I love her so much? I just like seeing her. That's the problem. I just like seeing her.
No, she's magnetic.
Obviously, when you're done, you're like, damn, they could have used her a lot more because she is so funny and pretty and. Again, charming. These actors are all charming. Riz Ahmed, the same thing.
That's who upsets me the most because he is such. I've had the biggest celebrity put him in every movie crush on him since Nightcrawler. Like to me, he steals that movie.
The Night of. I know you haven't seen the HBO.
Oh, the Night of with the HBO.
Yeah, the one he won his Emmy for.
Everybody is literally praises his
part.
walk.
I think my personal favorite part of Rogue One.
Oh yeah, I mean, arguably
Nightcrawler.
Yes,
he's awesome. Like Riz Ahmed, really is low key just. I like the way he's just such a cool guy.
Did you hear what he said about diversity?
I was just gonna bring it up. Like it's not really about diversity; it's more about representation,
which is great.
It's like the problem is you could have, let's say we're Hispanic, and yeah, you may have 500 Hispanic actors, but if they're all playing the same stereotype, it's not good. And then you have someone Diego Luna who doesn't play stereotypes; he plays against the stereotype, like in Star Wars or something. That's what we want. Like Riz Ahmed, he's not playing necessarily an Indian man or whatever, or a Pakistani man. He's playing just him. He's just an actor. And there's a sense of pride to that where, like, that's how you really succeed and set a bridge for everyone, I think. And that's why actors like him, Del Toro, Diego Luna, these, like, actors that don't make it their thing. They're like, yeah, I may be able to speak Spanish, but I'm more than that.
And you can follow him on Twitter at RizMC, RIZMC. It's a great follow, but also that's where you can see his interview where he talks about representation versus
another one of, like, just great representation.
Yeah. So, let's go ahead. What I liked about the movie the most was obviously Venom. Like the two things they needed to hit on the most, everybody talked about. It's if Eddie Brock and Venom are good, the movie at the very least will succeed, and we're seeing that. Yeah. This is what it is. Always remember, we live in a world where movies like Transformers make $1 bajillion.
$1 bajillion, yes.
But that's because people love Optimus Prime. They love his voice.
They look great.
Yeah, they look great.
They visually are amazing movies. Like I'm one of those people, dude. I love Transformers, and I get they're dumb. And I did pay for like the first 5 and didn't pay for the last one. But at the same time, I understand they're dumb. But like they look so good. I like Mark Wahlberg. Like you and me are a little easier to please. Like I know we do the critic stuff a little bit, but we're kind of more in the middle.
Yeah.
And you're more of a
we're more lenient,
than I am.
But we're
I'm
lenient.
a little more of like a little kid when I go to every movie. Even Happy Time Murder, I found joy in it. Even though a week later it's the worst movie of the year for me. This movie, I actually was like going in. I'm like. Man, I was like, I'm just looking for it to suck because it's supposed to suck. And I was sitting there, I'm like, wow, I'm having a really fun time with this movie.
Yep.
It's not too long.
And the theater was fun.
Great. The theater's having a good time. So everyone at the end, I think we all look at each other like, hey, that was cool.
That was kind of fun.
I like that. Like, it's not like Fantastic Four when you left, you're like, that kind of sucked. Or even Deadpool 2, we were like, man, that didn't live up to that hype I wanted it to.
So here's the thing, and Alex is bringing up a great point about the theater and going in there with certain type of expectations. Stick around this for later on in the episode here on The Good Brothers. We're actually going to talk a little bit about the whole I don't know. I guess it's a war, right, between critics and fans, where the scores are just so they're just so split.
Especially in a movie like this, that like it literally is night and day. Critics killed this movie, and they Suicide Squad them, and fans are like, no, we like this movie. It will succeed because of us.
And it did crush.
In the war of that, you're like, dang, a win for the fans then.
Yeah.
Because obviously Justice League didn't get away with that, or movies like that didn't get, or even like an Ant-Man and Wasp, it didn't make the money you thought it would. Like people are sitting and being like, listen, like we need to have fun too. Like we can't just. Like, no movie can just come out anymore. Like, you have to have something. And there are movies that need to be made for fans. Yeah. Like, yes, go see A Star is Born. That's probably going to win a lot of Oscars. And it's beautiful and it's great.
First Man.
Venom is fun.
Yeah.
That's this weekend.
First Man coming up this weekend.
There's two actually this weekend.
Yeah.
I don't know which one you want to see. We'll talk about it after.
Yeah, we'll talk about it. There's a lot.
We'll figure out what we want to watch.
The slate gets deep. So just to give you guys a little idea of what we're talking about, and stick to the end of the episode so you can be part of the conversation.
Do it.
At a RottenTomatoes.com right now, it's got a tomato meter of 30%, but an audience score of 89%. That is unbelievable. And we'll talk a little bit about box office and you know what, Alex? Let's crush that right now. Venom, 80 million. A Star is Born, 43. You and I, here's the funny thing. Our numbers were off, but the gap that we thought Venom
off also. We thought that,
I thought it was going to be about 20 million, 30 million. I mean, obviously it'd be 40 million.
We were still off. I thought it was going to be 10. I thought it was even more of like a 45, 55. Star is Born I actually got right. Star is Born I said 45 million. My thing was Venom, I thought it was going to be like 55. That's good. 80 million is unheard of.
No, it's unbelievable.
And when we knew by Thursday night, because it was the biggest Thursday opening for October, which is funny because Halloween's probably going to break that next. Actually, it won't because it's rated R, so it won't.
Yeah.
Actually. That's the problem.
Yeah.
And that's another thing we need to talk about right now.
It's got good reviews.
I know, but guess what? This movie, a lot of its money was because it was rated PG-13, and that is a lot more tickets sold. And that you got to take into consideration that people wanted this movie rated R. Well, I'm like, guess what, people? You're the people that kind of are going to badmouth the movie, and regardless if it's rated R, PG-13, and you're going to watch it once.
Yeah.
There's repeat viewing, this fun of it of PG-13, because guess what? I thought it was pretty violent still.
Oh yeah, he eats people's faces.
Guys, you can't really show blood, honestly. Yeah. And that's the only newsflash. That's the only difference between R and this is the amount of blood you're allowed to show and the amount of times you're allowed to say the F word.
So I will say this: we've done a pretty good job of no spoilers. So we're going to move into spoiler table for just a little bit, and we'll go ahead and move on. But before we do go to spoilers, the official score, Alex, what's your score for Venom?
I forgot what we're doing, Ron.
Out
of 5 symbiotes?
Yeah, today we'll do 5 symbiotes.
Out of 5 symbiotes, I'll give it a nice...
You know what, let's do 10 symbiotes. Yeah, I think people like 10.
And I can do half symbiotes?
You can do half symbiotes now.
An 8?
8? Okay. Yeah. I will give it a
7.5.
I'll give it a 7.5.
I thought it was very fun.
Yeah. 7.5 in my world is fun.
That's good.
It's good.
That's
it's fun.
watching in
the
theater.
Yeah.
I tell my friends, I'm like, would you watch it? I'm like, yeah, go watch it in the theater. Have some fun.
So now that you've gotten the official scores for us here on the Good Brothers of the Sony's Venom, let's go into spoiler territory in 3, 2, 1. You've been warned. Now we are spoilers for Venom that has made $80 million. It is not part of the Marvel Universe, but it kind of is because
it might be able to.
So very interesting. So I don't want to dig too deep about it because you and I could talk about this for hours.
And it's really, honestly, the connections are so nerd-like. Like, the only easy connection is he used to work in New York.
Yeah, that's what we know.
And there's another one, but it's so nerdy.
It's the San Francisco thing, like that he, in the comic books, Venom goes to San Francisco so that Peter could stay in New York. But then that would imply that he's already met Peter Parker and
that movie does a good job saying, like, he hasn't. He just worked at a certain newspaper and they fired him. So there's enough connection that he could always, if Marvel was like, listen, he made a lot of money. Like, I like Tom Hardy. They're like, let's bring him over.
Right.
Let's just say that he's working a case here, and now he's working the dust case of or maybe Michelle Williams' character vanished, and now he's in New York. Like, they can easily do that if they wanted to. I don't think they will.
So let's go into first the post-credit scene, because we'll go into what's the MCU in a second. Post-credit scene. I know some pundits love it. I know some hate it. To me,
I love it.
It was fun. I got more of a geek moment seeing him with the blood because I understand what that meant for the Carnage character. I think he looks a little goofy. I don't think you needed Woody Harrelson to have a wig with like we get that Colin Cassidy.
I like it because man, fuck y'all. Everyone's always pissed about the wigs. Leave the wigs alone on these bald men.
I look at.
He's a redhead. Leave the redhead
that's fine, but like, look at interpretation is one that we talk about it all the time. Where like, it doesn't always have to be exactly the character.
I know.
Like, he doesn't need to have long curly red hair.
Woody
I get
Harrelson.
it. But it's Woody. Woody could do whatever he wants.
I love how these like Venom. Like when you look back, you're like Venom. Respect, because you had the balls to literally be like, hey, you know what? We got this A-lister here, and this movie could fail. We might never see him again.
Yeah.
We're going to put him at the post-credit. And guess what? Now we are getting a part 2, and you're going to see him.
And I want to bring this out to the audience. Alex and I have been giving each other crap for it, but I think we pretty much just let it go to the side. This was maybe one of our first few episodes we did here. We made a bet of whether or not Carnage would be on the episode. And I think we could really consider this a push. Because I never thought Carnage was going to be in the movie. I thought it never made sense. I thought, strictly talking business, Venom versus Carnage sells a part 2 much more than blowing the peripheral load in part 1. But given credit where he's in the film.
Woody Harrelson's a credit
He's a credit actor in the film. But he's not in the story. He's not in the movie. So it's a push, but I think it was a smart decision not to have Venom, not to have Carnage in this movie.
And I think I am correct.
No, you're absolutely wrong, and you're closer to wrong than you're right.
Who's not?
So let us know.
It's part of the
film. But
it's Captain So Nick Fury's not dead because it's a post credit. So Nick Fury's technically still alive in the next movie. It's a post credit scene.
I didn't say it doesn't count. I said it's not part of the movie. It's not part of the movie. It's not. Like,
let the fans.
Carnage is not
let
part of
the
movie.
people choose, Mike.
Post credit, like it literally doesn't have to be part of the movie. And I mean the Nick Fury thing. If we never knew, that could have been the opening to Captain Marvel. Like there's a lot of different things that you could put into it. But what I want to know is, did you like the Spider-Verse post credit?
You know what? I'll be honest. I don't love sneak peeks at the end of movies because I'm tired.
Sure.
And I just got through that, so I didn't really enjoy
For
it.
a sneak peek, though, what did you think of what you saw?
I didn't like it.
I liked it.
I like. How about this? I like is the only part I needed to like is the way it looked right now because I'm tired. The story doesn't make sense in the middle of the movie. I don't need to like the story. Does it look good? It looks fantastic. So I guarantee I'm gonna love this movie. But like, I'm not gonna go in and say like, guys, I was looking for like story because it's the middle of the movie. You really don't know too much what's going on.
Yeah.
So you got to judge it off one thing. Does this feel right? Does it look good? And yes, it looks fantastic. It looks cool. Venom did it too, where I like when they do the comic strip style for a little bit.
Yeah.
And Venom did it for a little bit, and this movie looks like they're doing a lot because it is anime. I like that stuff because like I think Ang Lee had the right idea. Because no matter how much Ang Lee Hulk sucked, there was like 3% of the movie you're like, I like that stuff though.
Yeah.
I like the stuff you did here, here, and here, but like most of it's crap. So like, I'm not gonna dig it.
He fights dogs at the end of that movie. I like
that's not one of the 3%.
So why don't we go ahead and take this bad boy home of Venom? So we finally got to this moment. It almost feels unreal, and you know, I heard this. I forgot what show it was like, so it had to have been somebody in the family of people that we listen to in our little community here. But I couldn't help but think about John Schnepp. Because this seems like such a goofy movie for him. Like, it seemed like the king of the nerds to, like, I wonder what he would have thought of this movie.
I mean, he would have been mad that Tom Holland wasn't in it.
Yeah, he definitely would have.
But he'd probably be like, yo, 40 that minutes.
Let me ask you this. Do you ever watch these movies and not think about him?
No. Like
does he come across like...
Like, I'll be like, it's like if I'm listening to Collider do a review, I'll be like, man,
it misses him.
would have had a fun opinion.
Yeah, a fun opinion. Like, there's a...
Because you know he would have been either in love with it or hated it.
And
he would have been like, this movie's garbage, this sucks. Or he would have been like, nah, this is fun. Like, it's pretty cool, chill. Like, Venom's cool, and like, symbiotes look cool, and we got Carnage and a weird thing. Man, like, he would have made a funny voice.
Now, it's funny because I remember, like, it's yesterday. I can remember us being in my room in Berwyn playing PlayStation 1 Spider-Man, and... Can you get me Captain America's autograph? And just like to think, essentially, 20 years later, there's a Venom movie.
I mean, we've had Venom a lot. The cartoon, then you had the stupid Topher Grace.
But like this one stuck. This one's like they finally, at the very least, they understood an actor that can get that character right.
I think they got the Venom character down. It's like it is the ultimate anti-hero of like. Yeah, he's a monster, but he's trying to do well. Like he does, it's like Punisher. He lives outside the rules, but really, who wrote these rules? And like maybe his way is a little more right than our way. Like you don't judge him as much.
So let's get this one in before we go ahead and move on. Give me a percentage of Venom joining the MCU. A percentage point.
When?
Let's go post Avengers 4. So in the next phase. In the next phase.
I think it's like 60%.
Okay, so you think it's more likely than
I think it's more like the next phase. I think if we're expecting him anytime soon, I think it'd be smart. I think it'd be smart of Marvel to throw him in this one. They won't.
Yeah.
But I think it'd be smart.
Let me gauge you on this time. Let's start saying probability. We know Morbius is filming next year, and we know Kraven the Hunter is now in production. So we know Sony's going to have...
Venom 2 is going to be
hot
push.
So my question is, with Far From Home being filmed, Avengers 4 now doing their last reshoots, everything kind of went in its own thing. give me percentages or give me a list. So we'll put Venom as entering the MCU at 60%. Likely or chance that we see first. Venom, X-Men in the MCU.
Here's the problem. I think it's X-Men, but here's the problem now. This is kind of on that Batman level of Christian Bale. It's like we haven't had an actor hit a role this good with this kind of title gonna have. Like, no offense to Robert Downey and Chris Evans. Like, these guys are superhero actors. Like, that's where we learned them from. Yeah, Tom Hardy is a very busy man. So this is a very different scenario. Like, most people probably thought this wasn't going to succeed enough to be a thing or even a franchise. But this literally is going to start the Sony.
Oh, they're backing up the truck.
Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, so it's very weird, interesting to see where Tom Hardy goes. He's like, didn't really expect this.
But he can do 1 and 1.
I didn't expect this.
Right, but like he does 1 and 1. He's like, oh, cool, Sony, Marvel, you go ahead and give me my 15 mil. I'm gonna go do this movie for 6 months. I'll be back to do this one after that.
Yeah, so I don't know, like, he's. I mean, Tom Hardy's a dream.
So we know that. So now we know you feel X-Men is gonna get in there before Venom.
It has to.
What about Fantastic Four?
Actually, no, it's gonna be Venom because the X-Men movie, the new one I heard, is actually very good.
So Fantastic Four. Does the Fantastic Four get into
Venom's first, Mike? Because it's already done.
I think Venom, even though it's already done, I think it's the hardest one because I think Sony's making their own universe. I think Sony really is. And you want to know why they're pushing into the Spider-Verse? Because we're going to get a live-action Miles Morales.
Yeah.
I truly believe.
Because now you realize the animated world and the real world, to them, it's not different. To us, it may look different, but you can easily pull them out and be like, I'm just in a different universe. I don't look any different. I'm a human. Like,
so now,
they made that a thing. Because, again, the way Venom does it, now all the universes are probably connected, honestly.
Maybe. So here's my theory. I think as of right now, Spider-Man is a different thing than Venom. I think they've given themselves the leeway to allow everything to kind of simmer in together. But my money is Marvel, Sony, Spider-Man is its own thing with the MCU. Venom, Kraven, Morbius are going to be their own PG-13 rated R universe. You're going to have Venom and go after Morbius. Can you imagine the movie we just saw, but with Jake Gyllenhaal? With Joker, with Jared Leto as Morbius and Venom. Like that is its own thing. And then you can have a live-action Miles Morales. That is what they're going to do. Spider-Man, it's going to be 2 different universes. And then maybe in 2030, they put it all together.
I don't know. I think that the fact that it isn't, if you leave them in San Francisco, which if you do these characters on the East Coast, then they really don't have to see each other that often. Like, they ignore each other pretty well when they're all in New York. So put him in San Francisco, you really could have it all.
Which makes me think they're making their own universe.
I could use him for 10 minutes maybe. Eddie Brock shows up, Venom does a thing, kind of helps Spider-Man. And, like, he's really not part of your universe, but, like, I have him.
But, like, I think, like, here's the thing, right? Money is always good, and, like, I don't think they're ever going to ignore anything. I just don't see Disney chomping at the bits for Venom. I see them being chomping at their bits for their own chance to take on Wolverine and to take on Cyclops and to take on the Fantastic Four and to get their hands to make their own version of this IP. I don't think Disney is sitting there saying, like, we want Venom. We need Tom Hardy. I don't think they care.
I think the amount that we don't know about what they're going to go forward, because, like, there's so many questions now that we just don't know the answers to, and we could speculate for hours.
Yeah, I mean, so I think we have.
I think as of now, Venom's a success.
Yeah,
and Sony has the cards in their own. I don't think there's any cards to have.
Yeah,
because either or, like, a movie was successful, there's gonna be a part 2. Whether or not it's in the universe or not, at the moment, it's not a big deal because you're a success.
And either way, you're limited on how much money you can make because at the end of the day, until Venom's movie has the title with Spider-Man on it, you're only going to make so much.
Like, you can
only make so much without Spider-Man on that movie.
I would watch a part 2 if he still hasn't met Spider-Man.
I agree with that.
But I need a cameo. I need an end credit scene. I need a direction. I need a direction saying we're getting a Spider person in this goddamn universe.
Maybe
I don't care if it's Gwen Stacy, y'all.
Right, maybe we've been in the Ultimate Universe this whole time. Like, we've had no idea that this is, and I'm cool with it. All I'm saying is I don't think that Disney's going at the chomp, and I don't think Sony is. I think
everyone's just like, hey, we're
good.
It's week 1. Like, at this point, let's see if we can have a successful week 2. Yeah. This week 2 is always going to determine, is this a success, or did we had a really nice opening weekend? Either way, we'll take it.
Yeah, so I really enjoyed it. I like it.
Yeah, go watch it, y'all. Give me your money.
So we got that going on. Alex, before we move on, I kind of want to take a quick look at the box office and what's going on here. A Star is Born at a 91% on Rotten Tomatoes, $43 million, like we said. Venom was number 1 with $80 million.
Was it Littlefoot?
Smallfoot, 73% Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah,
So it's getting some love.
Good.
$14 million for that animated film. Night School at 27% Rotten Tomato. 12 million. The House with a Clock and all that
Jack
crazy
Black.
stuff. Yeah, 67% on Rotten Tomatoes, 7.3 million.
Nice.
A Simple Favor at 85% Rotten Tomatoes, 3.5 million. The Nun with 2.8 million. Crazy
Ooh,
Rich
you're going
Asians,
low on that. We only do
2.2
top
million.
5 on this show, Mike.
I'm just giving you guys a little bit because there's some interesting ones. Hellfest at 21, but at $1 million, The Predator. And coming out.
Is that why you wanted to do it?
Yes.
Leave Predator alone.
And coming out.
Fox isn't doing so well. It's That's Greatest Showman.
Can you guess, listen to some of these movies. Can You Ever Forgive Me? Mid-90s, Wildlife, all little artsy films, but low-key, all over 90% Rotten Tomato fresh. Yeah. But coming out with an 87% October 19th, Jamie Lee Curtis comes back to fight Michael Myers.
Man, we gotta this is like the preview to the preview of the preview show. That movie's still a little bit away.
It's Halloween month.
I know, man. It's crazy.
How
it's
excited
here.
are you that it's
when
good?
You heard about McBride? It's good. It's gonna be a good movie. They say it's comparable to the first one, and that's the highest honor. But that's like saying we made a Godfather remake, and it's as good as Godfather. You're like, wait, what?
So
is that a thing?
So stick with us. We are so glad that you've made us a part of your day and a part of your Halloween month here in October.
Is Halloween.
We don't have the rights, Alex. We don't have the rights.
Yeah,
so thank you guys for letting us be part of this spooky time of month as we break down everything and horror movies abound. I cannot wait to see Overlord. I cannot wait to see Halloween. That has nothing to do.
Have you started watching a few horror movies yet, or not yet?
Not yet. Here's the thing. Don't let Alex's Matt O stuff have Overlord's about zombies and crazy shit. And it was supposed to be connected to the Cloverfield universe, and
it wasn't.
It's not.
James. James Gunn.
That's the guy who does Star Wars. I can't think of his name right now. Come on, Alex.
J.J. Abrams.
Yes, thank you. Jesus Christ, you suck.
I was like, what Star Wars? Ryan Johnson?
Yeah, the only one who's done 2 Star Wars. The only other director who's ever done 2 Star Wars.
Right now. It's still
He's literally
out.
filming one.
All right, but now that we're talking about Halloween, Walking Dead's back.
If you would like to support Mercado Airwaves, visit us at patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves. Find us on iTunes at Mercado Airwaves. Keep up to date with the show on Facebook at Mercado Airwaves. You can see all of Nicole's work at typingwhentipsy.wordpress.com. You can follow Alex on Twitter at Mercado21Alex. Follow Mike on Twitter at mmercado2333 and on Instagram, MikeMercado2333.
What's up, friends? Mike here from Mercado Airwaves. If you missed any one of our past interviews with amazing guests like future Hall of Famer and pound for pound best fighter in the world, UFC flyweight champion Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson,
It's another day at the office. I get to go out there and test my skill.
to award-winning producer, director, and actor Orlando Jones,
Orlando, how you doing,
How
buddy?
you, sir? I'm good, brother. How you doing?
and all the other interesting guests we've had on. Joining us today is director and writer David Ferrier.
Thanks so much, brother. I appreciate you having me on the show.
MMA legend Chael Sonnen joins us today.
Keep listening to your show. This is great. Thanks, my friend.
Just subscribe to us on iTunes at Mercado Airwaves. And while you're there, please review, and rate us, friends. It helps so much. We also have a Patreon for anyone who would like to support the show. Just visit us at patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves and see how you can get all of our interviews ad-free and before anyone else, and how you can get your business or company spotlighted on the show. Follow us on Twitter at mmercado2333. Like us on Facebook at Mercado Airwaves. Subscribe to us on YouTube, youtube.com/MikeMercado2333. And if you would like to see what we're up to behind the scenes, follow us on Instagram, MikeMercado2333. Thanks for listening and all the support.
So what did you think of the first episode?
It was good. You can tell there's a new screenwriter.
Yeah.
They got a new opening.
Yeah, I did not see the opening
The new
yet.
opening is very pretty.
I even recorded right now.
I
the
like
DVR.
the writing. Yes, is it Walking Dead? Is it TV? That's too many episodes.
Yeah.
I appreciate the fact that the writing's better. It's a new showrunner. I appreciate the way they're writing for the woman now. It is kind of hard to think when Rick's gone. And you know what's funny? Shameless is going through the same thing. They just lost another star.
Yep.
So these shows but that one's a little more on good terms. This one was a little more at the beginning, a little sketchy because Laurie Cohen.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that you can see the writing there. I don't think they kill him. I think he just goes to some town to help or
to bring him back.
It's he's gonna become president or something. He's gonna be that guy.
Yeah.
So I think that's what eventually happens. But it's good. The show is good. I like it looks good. It's fun. I like where it's going. Yeah, I mean, I didn't hate watch this episode. I actually really enjoyed it. It's sad that it was the lowest season premiere in the history. But I think the fact that, we got to remember two things, people. One, the numbers have been going down. They're not going to stop. Actually, remember two more things. The numbers really don't matter as much with this VOD kind of style. So at this point, like Walking Dead still, you got to think about it like this with the ratings. Almost like WWE, they explained it. Like, Walking Dead is still the highest watched show on AMC.
It just so happens to.
Was it doing 110% before? Yeah. It's still a solid, probably like 80% of the, like, it's still doing enough business where you're like, yeah, did we used to have a bajillion dollars? Yes.
Right.
Are we down to $1 billion?
Right.
Yes, but we're still killing it. That's why it's hard, like, when people talk about, that's in general with shows that upsets me, is like, yeah, I hate Supernatural, I hate Flash. But these they're getting the numbers they need where they need them. Whether it's, merchandising or they can check out the VOD or the streaming on when the new season dropped on Netflix a week before our season premiere, how did it look? Or Hulu has it at midnight. How many people are watching? Like, that's the real numbers, people.
Yeah.
Who watches on cable, honestly? That's probably like the lowest denominator of what they're looking at nowadays.
Or amongst many different
it's that. Like, so when you hear the ratings were lower, the viewers were low, I'm like, yeah, but they probably have a lot of numbers when it came to AMC Go with the new thing they had, or the season premiere, like they showed 3 showings too.
So let me ask you this: Did you watch Talking Dead afterwards?
No, I don't like Talking Dead. Talking Dead's stupid. I haven't liked Talking Dead in forever, just because I think the idea of the show was fun at first.
Yeah. But
then you found like you're really not going to get anything.
Yeah.
I stopped watching.
Okay.
Yeah,
so I wanted to kind of get the climate and see how it was with Chris Hardwick.
But the problem is, I got home late too, so I probably would have left it on for a little bit. I like to watch him back to backs in case I miss anything.
Sure.
But yeah, I mean, he looked like it's the same show every time. I don't like that.
Yeah,
like,
it's literally,
especially when it's an episode about nothing. Like this episode sure was good, but I'm so scorned from that episode 15 when they were in the Fish Village, and then the after show was them talking about Fish Village. I'm like, I don't give a damn.
Yeah.
Like, I like when they're all together. I don't need to go to individual places as much.
So let me ask you: do you think where do you think we're heading to in the season? What's the ultimate? Where's the climax going to?
Well, they're building some bridge. Obviously, we got to get those crazy people to come and start a war. I don't know, and that's fun not knowing, I guess.
Are we going to have, like...
This is the part of the comics where people tend to not even jump off, but, like, it gets a little diehard. Like, if you're at this point, you're a diehard Walking Dead comic fan.
Okay, but, like...
Because after Negan, you're kind of more in the area of, like... And they've written so differently. They've even said, like, on Talking Dead, like, I caught the last 5 minutes going into the next episode of, like... They have a lot of freedom of writing because, like, you and me talked about it. Daryl's not a character. They can do anything they want with Daryl. Yeah. They can literally take Daryl and make him Rick now. And, like, hey, Daryl lost his arm, and Daryl might have this, or, like, they can change anything they want. So it's kind of hard to tell where they're going.
Our main character's going to kill each other.
No.
So the
original family will never kill original.
So
family.
they jumped away from that storyline. Like,
no, I think something always happens that they didn't jump away from it. Like, there's still drama, but
people thought. That for sure Maggie was going to try to kill Rick.
But, like, I can't talk about it without spoiling anything.
Well, go ahead. Let's go ahead.
So quick spoiler. So, like, so basically Maggie tells him, like, they go, that's what Lady does. She goes, like, listen, you were supposed to follow me, and now you're saying you're not. And so eventually Gregory tries to get her killed. And she gets these people to jump her, and she stops him and everything. And so since it's her town at Hilltop, she decides to hang him.
Oh, wow.
And they show it. So he's on a horse, neck tied, everything. Kids are inside. Rick and Michonne are there because they're visiting. And so basically, these 2 kids walk out while she's about to do it. And Michelle Sarcio, no. And Rick just grabs her. He's like, no. Like, he's basically like, no. Like, that's her decision. Like, we're going to live with this.
She has to live with it.
She lives. Like, this is her place, technically. Right. I'm not in charge here. Mm. And so, like, you kind of get the sense of, like, Rick's kind of being looked at as this god. Like, he runs everything. Because he saved them for Negan.
Right.
Because now you have, the whole base of the concept of the story is Hilltop's doing amazing. They're the best driving colony. And then you have Alexandria's fine. And then you have, obviously, the Kingdom. And then you have the Sanctuary. And now the whole season motto is, okay, we have these people in the Sanctuary now. Is it our job to take care of them, or was us sparing their lives enough? And they're basically saying, Rick's like, no, we have to help them. We have to build something. But nothing grows there. Daryl doesn't like to run it because Daryl's beefing with Rick still. So he doesn't want to be there. And basically, it's not a good invite. Those guys are bullies, kind of. They're trying to get the concept of, like, these guys are, like, still kind of a couple assholes.
Yeah, right.
Like Negan had to run him for a reason. But then you have the guys who are like, you're our man, Rick. Like, so that's where it gets kind of going. It's like, okay, so Maggie makes a deal. She's like, listen, the bridge fell off. We need to build a new bridge. I will provide food for them, but they need to basically do the workers. So they're kind of turning into, like, not the slaves, but they're the working people. So you can tell they're kind of leading on that story of, like, where's the balance? Like, are we supposed to take care of them? Like, they were Negan's people. We could have just killed them or like said, hey, you're alive. Like,
you're on your own.
Then Rick's argument, like, well, then what if they come back for us?
Yeah.
Then there's more war. Like, this is the best way to do it. So it's interesting now. Like, it's exciting to watch Walking Dead.
Because they're building a world.
They're going to ruin it probably at episode 7 when it's gone
How
too
can
long.
how can they ruin this, do you think?
It's just they're going to drag out stories. You know, like, I hate when they're like, hey, we're all going to this one place, but let's make 2 episodes of it because this group's going left and this group's going right. And let's see them not get killed or bitten by walkers.
But are you optimistic? Do you have optimism towards it?
Hey, you're 1 for 1 right now. Let's keep it up.
Hey, that's a win, right? So we had that go on. It's really fast CW universe. We had the premiere back of everything that's going to be DC. We saw Batwoman, excuse me, not Batgirl. We're going to see her in maybe the new DC streaming service. But we saw Batwoman in her costume for the DC Arrowverse. It looks really good, actually. I really like how.
How's your teen dramas going over there, Mike?
Pretty good. We this episode we started the season premiere of The Flash, and I don't know who the bad guy is. I saw his power. It's interesting. Doesn't look like a speedster, so that's going to be interesting. That's going to be interesting. But you know, we haven't had a speedster in about 2 seasons.
I mean, you kind of ran out of speedsters.
Nah, you still have a few guys that they could still use that are pretty deep into the Flash lore. It's an interesting storyline that they're having to deal with their daughter coming back. But it's fun. It's just cheeky fun.
Regular time.
Yeah, and they talk all about that. But we're starting to get into the Crisis on Infinite Earth Barry storyline. So essentially, they're taking his storyline of when he disappears into this without what they did Crisis on Earth X.
Oh,
but you know what I'm saying. So
sounds so bad.
So for all you nerds out there, the storyline in which Barry sacrifices himself and he's gone for 20 years in the comics, and we see that now Wally is the new Flash. They're doing their version of that here, where at some point Flash is going to disappear. What is interesting, though, is they took the storyline of Crisis on Infinite Earth, and that's what they used as their crossover for last year's 4-part series, which is actually really cool. Infinite on Earth X is actually solid as hell. So I suggest you guys check that out.
Those are always good. Those are basically the Simpsons Treehouse of Horrors, where you're like, those are good.
Yeah, those
you
are
can watch
good.
those and not have to watch the story and pretty much get it.
And Black Lightning, again, some of the best writing when it comes to CW Universe, so shout out to them. And I'm really looking forward. So we got Legends coming out, we got Arrow, and then obviously we're going to see what happens with everything that is this crossover. And now the DC Universe app that's coming out with Titans, and what we're going to see with...
Man, they bad-mouthed Titans so bad.
Can't blame them. It looks stupid. That trailer was horrible.
You know what? The trailer was bad, but you know what? I respect them for when they defend them saying creators. First of all, creators don't have authority over a trailer. So we got that. So when the artists came on, they're like, just wait till you see it in action. You're going to think it's fine. Mm-hmm. Especially the costume for Starfire. And they've already announced, they're like, hey, season 2, she's getting a real costume.
Yeah.
So suck our dicks.
Yeah.
Like, they basically, guess what? We got signed for season 2. We were a hit with the critics. We're a hit at Comic-Con. Suck it, y'all. And you start thinking, you're like, huh. Good for you.
Right.
You're like, no one, and that's what it comes down to. No one wants anything to be bad. Well, at least we don't on this show.
Right.
So when we heard that, we're like, nice. That's a new show for me. Like, I love having new shows. I'm pissed that I can't watch Iron Fist because it's stupid.
Yeah.
Like, I'm mad I can't watch it. It upsets me. And I'll probably catch them on Flash because it's not that bad, but I'm not going to watch it right now. But, like, it upsets me with shows like Inhumans. I want Inhumans to be good.
But we know something that is going to be good that we did see coming from New York Comic Con. Daredevil Season 3.
It's so soon.
We're coming, I think we're a week away from it coming
2
out.
weeks.
And we're back to the black costume.
Oh, so good.
Lots of conversation with why we're going back to the black costume.
Back as a full-time character.
So, that's going to be a lot of fun. I think it's literally the only series that you could count on in the Netflix and the ABC universe of Marvel. So super excited about that. And of course, we get closer and closer to that premiere, and I'm interested to see if you look at in the poster of Daredevil Season 3, you can see Avengers Tower in the background. So I'm interested to see if maybe we get a connection to Dusting.
I hope so.
So what else you got for me?
We never do. We never get anything fun like that on TV. Yeah. Mike, on this show we talk about mature television, so we're going to talk about Big Mouth.
Yes, this is the show that you've had a hard on for.
Out. It's hilarious. It's inappropriate. It's Nick Kroll, Jeff Goldberg. There's basically writers from all your slight favorites. Their things is so long that I can't even get into all the shows they're a part of or have made. There's some people from Seth Rogen's crew or James Franco's crew or the League crew on TV. Everyone's in it. A lot of the SNL cast members do voices. Jordan Peele's in this. There are so many people in the show. It's funny. It is clever. Yes, it's disgusting, but with a point, I guess. So it's not like Drawn Together. Drawn Together was disgusting for no point.
Yeah, old Comedy Central show.
Yeah, and like that's why it wasn't very good. This show's successful because it's disgusting, but like in an appropriate way. It's not even tasteful because it is not tasteful at times. And there are times where you're like, yeah, that's been messed up. But the writing's clever because the Netflix writing's so clever that you're like, I appreciate what you're doing here with the humor because it's real. The way they talk, it's like that is how a 13-year-old thinks and feels, and like it's silly as shit because 13-year-old puberty kids are silly as shit. Like it's a very weird time in anyone's life, so you can all relate to it. Be like, oh yeah, I remember when that happened. Like it's not this extreme. I don't have a hormone monster. I wish I had a hormone monster. Am I the hormone monster, Mike?
Yeah, you definitely are. And speaking of monsters, how have you enjoyed South Park?
South Park's great. South Park's back to like top status. Like I like they're not connecting episodes as much. Like yeah, like obviously we live in a time where like if one person gets shot in this episode, they're dead in this episode. Yeah, but they're not like carrying storylines. Like I think they did it 2 or 3 seasons ago, and people weren't responding well. It was like a very long season.
They've done that a few times where it hit, but
they'll
it's
do
definitely
it.
hit or miss.
That's like President hit. It hit with the president.
Yeah.
It didn't hit when they did the TV. Where the TV? You remember when the channels?
Yeah.
It was just a weird season. Like Carmen was on Twitter. Like it wasn't fun. This is fun. Like they covered the school shootings first, then they covered the priest cover up.
We're gonna go to
and
Kavanaugh.
now we're doing Mr. Hanky
As
is Kavanaugh, and that's gonna be very funny. I can't wait to go home and watch that.
Yeah.
So yeah, TV's cool. I mean, obviously,
Super excited.
More and more shows are coming back,
and really fast. Yeah, and we'll get all into all that as the weeks go on. And in the sports are really fast. You can check out all our thoughts over on Sports from the Couch that just debuted. But Alex, really fast, what's your thoughts of Khabib and Conor?
I hate Conor. I'm not a Conor fan at all. Conor's a dick.
Yeah,
I'm not a fan of it because I'm like, I'm all for shit talking, but when I'm like the amount of shit talking you do, dude, you'd be like you're like undefeated or something Like you're like Goldberg shit talking, but that was fake. Like you gotta be like I don't know. It's weird. Like I like shit talking, but I think there are UFC guys that do it right and back it up, and there are guys that I'm like, you're all shit talk soon, but like you kind of been knocked the fuck out or choked out the last like 3 out of 4 times.
He's had some great wins in his resume.
Yeah, I'm not taking it away, but like
no, I get it.
The amount of shit.
No, I get it.
And then like you can't, but like everyone's like, "Who's the ultimate bro?" Because like he gave him respect after. I'm like, no, he's an asshole, dude. He's a racist asshole. Like. And like, yeah, game represents game. Like, you do your thing, bro. But I ain't gonna sit here and be like, I don't like seeing him get choked out. And maybe that's why he's perfect for WWE, because I like to see him get choked out, so that I would pay to see him lose.
Right, but I think he's gonna come back. I think he's gonna fight Nate Diaz because we just found out that Dustin is out of the fight. So I think he's gonna be at Madison Square Garden, and I think he's gonna fight, and he's gonna make a lot of money, and he's good for the sport. But listen to my thoughts completely about this craziness that was Khabib versus Conor at UFC 229, which was actually an amazing card. We watched it all together with the family. It was a really good card.
That guy with the sweaty balls.
Derek Lewis, who by the way, will be fighting at Madison Square Garden at UFC 230. Just announced right now on Twitter. Thank you to all the amazing people of the MMA universe.
Wait, really? Right now?
It will be for the heavyweight championship. It will be Daniel Cormier versus Derek Lewis at Madison Square Garden. And that is going to be a hell of a fight. Good for them at MSG.
Yeah,
and
we got 2 stories in one show. You go us. Tuesdays.
So fun stuff. And Alex, we promised the people before we got out of here we would talk a little bit about the critics and the audience. And I think there's been a few movies like this.
How's the fantasy team doing? We
lost this week.
Damn it, Mike! Don't tell me the bad stuff.
We went against a few 30-point guys.
Damn it! Never mind. False. I won. I beat our boy Cisco though 2 weeks in a row.
All right, we'll continue on. You guys don't want to hear none of that nonsense unless we're winning.
So I don't want to hear it either.
Yeah. So what we've seen a few movies that are very much divided where the audience, like we saw a lot with Justice League.
Yes.
And we saw with Dawn of Justice. We've seen a lot of movies where the audience, I think the audience is so much more forgiving, obviously, than the critics. And I have a big problem with a lot of critics that we know that are part of our circles that don't know how to oppress that opinion of it.
Like I hated hearing like a lot of people like, hey, like this movie sucks. Like it's terrible. And I'm like, I don't think it's terrible. Like it was just so weird. The people like I guess it's expectation. Because I think there were people that went into it thinking this needs to be like a super hit. And they were so disappointed. I think people were like, hey, this movie looks kind of fun. They had fun. Like a lot of well-known critics went out and said, listen, This movie's got flaws. We're not gonna lie, it isn't, but it's fun. I liked it.
Well, Roger Ebert, or I forgot which one.
Which one's that? Which one's the last
Yeah, I
one?
forgot which one was that. But he literally went hard. He's like, it's a waste of this, and that. I'm like, what did you think you were getting? Like, here's the thing. I understand you don't give people a pass because it's a certain type of movie. But I did not see anything in Venom that was, it
wasn't Fantastic Four.
Yeah, like it wasn't a waste of time. Like, yes, did it border on, oh, you're getting really close. Like, we talked about it and throughout a review, the whole thing, but I think this is where I come into it. Some people are not like us, Alex. Believe it or not, some people don't go to movies every Thursday.
Like me.
Yeah. Some people don't go to movie theaters all the single time. And sometimes they go to 3 or 4 movies a year. And all it takes is a charming guy like Tom Hardy to play a really cool character like Venom, and all of a sudden, there's a couple action scenes. He has a funny joke in an elevator, and boom, people like it. But if you're sitting there trying to tell me and critique things, and you think the average Joe cares whether or not Riz Ahmed got 45 minutes of screen time and not 43, and whether his lines were good or not, they just care whether or not he was the bad guy and he became Riot.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's just. I liked it. It was fun. It was a cool thing. Like, I think it's like you gotta change expectations. Like, when you went to see A Star Is Born, you knew you were getting something different than when you went to see Venom or when you went to see Smallfoot.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, like,
no, I'm with you. I get it. It's just annoying.
Argue critics,
yeah.
Because it's like you're arguing opinions. So like, how are you gonna argue someone's opinion?
That's where it comes down to. Like, yeah.
But you're like, I think you were a little hard on it, people.
So this is where I think we do a really good job of our reviews. Is we never tell you whether or not you should like a movie or not. We let you know what we think of it. So I try my best when I describe how I felt about a movie. I like to tell you what I was feeling when I got to the movie theater, what I was feeling during the movie, what it made me feel afterwards, what I think about afterwards, what was I thinking during the movie. I want you to get in my head and how I feel about it. I don't want to speak at you and just tell you like you should like this movie and this is why. I want to tell you why I enjoyed this movie, what I was thinking when I heard that funny scene. We're not gonna spoil it for right here, but that funny scene with Venom and Eddie Brock.
Yeah.
Like I want to tell you why I felt that way. I don't want to, and that's where I think critics start disconnecting with people, is we want to speak to you. We want to speak at you. We want you to just hear us, but we don't want to listen to you. And I think that's a problem where a lot of critics have.
Mike, I got more breaking news here, and this one's kind of fun.
Okay.
And it's not really breaking, but I think you appreciate it.
Yeah.
So, I have this. I went to a Navarro College in Texas.
Okay.
And that's a very well-known cheer school. Obviously, the more people, it's very small, but it's one of the best cheer programs in the country. That's where I went. It's one of the best places ever. I have a lot of family down there. And so I got a message from my former coach, because she's the sweetest lady in the world. Imagine The Blind Side. Mm-hmm. And so she talks to all of us through a group message. And they just signed a contract with the producers of Last Chance U for a new Netflix show. They filmed in February, and they're going this weekend to film this current year's Ring Ceremony Children.
Wow. So
are we
in trouble?
I'm very proud of that.
Can we announce that here? Can we talk about that here?
I
are we in
just
trouble?
did.
Okay.
I'm alumni. I can do what I want. So
okay.
She announced it to us. I was lucky enough to be part of 2 championship teams there.
All right, let's not give out too much, but congratulations to our friends down in Navarro.
Yes, it couldn't happen to a better lady, could have a better team. Monica Aldama is an angel, and she has saved many lives.
Shout out to Monica. So you can go back to the podcast and listen to what Alex just said. We're not going to repeat it because just in case, but go back and listen to it. And shout out
for us, yeah,
great stuff for our family over there. Go Dogs.
Yeah, go dog. Maybe I'll get you an interview with her.
So, great stuff with them on that. And I would just say this. Google Navarro College, and you'll see a little bit about it, and maybe you'll start seeing some news about it. But shout out to them. Shout out to you, Alex, for that breaking news. And I think that's a great way to end this episode with some amazing...
because guess what, people? Opinions are opinions.
Yeah, opinions are opinions. Yeah. All we're going to say is you're not crazy. Neither are the critics.
You can like Green Lantern. Yeah. You can hate Avengers. If that's what you feel in your heart... As long as you have passion, do what you got to do.
Yeah, so, don't let facts get in the way of a good story.
No,
nah.
That's what
we learned
especially if it's not your job to be a critic. And that's what fans are trying to prove here. They're like, It's not my job to tell people
That's
what it's
it.
like. I like what I like.
That's exactly
like I
it.
remember walking out of Justice League and Mike looking at me. I'm like, I liked it. He's like, you're an idiot. I'm like, don't hate me because I like things.
so, you know,
I'm like,
that's
I
what it
like
is.
liking things.
And I think that's wonderful. Like what you guys like. And, you know, at the end of it, we'll talk about it. But it's just all for banter and fun. So, Alex, yeah, right. Who would have thought work could be fun? Alex, is that it for us, good brother? I went to Monday Night Raw. Check out all the pictures on
Monday
Instagram.
Night Raw, the first good Raw of the year, possibly.
It was cool. Not much to really talk about in the sense of storylines, everything. Like there was a lot of cool nostalgia. Check out all the pictures.
I liked it. I thought
yeah,
it was good.
It's
I
a good
watched
show. Trish was there. Lita was there. DX was there.
Nice.
Fun times.
Damn, what
Check
year
it out.
is it?
Yeah, I know. Check us out on Instagram at Mike Mercado 2333 and on Facebook at Mercado Airwaves. You can see all the pictures of this past Monday Night Raw in Chicago at the Allstate Arena. Good brother. I think we pretty much wrapped it. We're getting ready for Halloween. Any suggestions for anybody looking for a scary movie to watch that to look around right now?
On Netflix, I like Raw. I like the Babadook.
Train to
And
Busan is back out.
I named mine two because they're directed by woman Mike. We have a voice. And Train to Busan is amazing.
Train to Busan is amazing.
Movie.
Go check that
Korean.
out. Yeah, and I want to go. I want to see Maniac.
Yeah, Devil's Candy looks pretty good. There's a lot of it. Netflix is great. Like some of these low hour and 30 minutes to Guest, Invitation, like they're so
And
good.
I might rewatch VHS 1 and 2 because I just
I
love
VHS
Yeah, just because I
1
love
and 2. Part 3,
not so much. But yeah, guys, that'll do it for us. We're gonna be deep into the Halloween lore here on the Good Brothers on Murder Mysteries and more, and everywhere here on the Mercado Airwaves Network. It's a fun episode, guys. Thank you guys so much for being a part of it. For the Good Brother himself,
And I'm gone.
I'm Mike Mercado. Follows everywhere in the universe. We're on Twitter. You can follow him at Mercado21Alex. I'm at mmercado2333. We're on Instagram. He's at Mercado2121. I'm at Mike Mercado2333. Like us on Facebook at Mercado Airwaves. We're on YouTube. Subscribe to us at Mercado Airwaves Network. Check us out on Patreon, patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves. You can hear our interviews ad-free. And before anybody else with athletes and celebrities, patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves. And download us anywhere you get your favorite podcast at Mercado Airwaves. Please like, rate, review, and share. It means the world to us. A huge thank you to Munch Art Design for powering us at the Mercado Airwaves Network. It means the world to us that they trust in us and they help us keep the lights on for each and every one of you. Thank you to the Good Brother himself for being a part of the show and watching and doing all this crazy stuff. And we lose him to madness every single week.
Madness.
He's going to be watching Mayans and South Park and Big Mouth and everything that comes out on Netflix and everything that comes in the theater. So we'll try to bring him to you guys same next week. I will try to keep saying next week. For all you guys, thank you for keeping up to us. Thank you for turning on the Infinity Gauntlet. We'll see you in the next episode. We'll see you in the next episode of the Good Brothers here on the Mercado Airwaves Network.
If you would like to support Mercado Airwaves, visit us at patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves. Find us on iTunes at Mercado Airwaves. Keep up to date with the show on Facebook at Mercado Airwaves. You can see all of Nicole's work at typingwhentipsy.wordpress.com. You can follow Alex on Twitter at Mercado21Alex. Follow Mike on Twitter at mmercado2333 and on Instagram, Mike Mercado2333. Thanks for joining us here on The Good Brothers, here on Mercado Airwaves. If you would like to support Mercado Airwaves, visit us at patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves. Find us on iTunes at Mercado Airwaves. Keep up to date with the show on Facebook at Mercado Airwaves. You can see all of Nicole's work at typingwhentipsy.wordpress.com. You can follow Alex on Twitter at Mercado21Alex. Follow Mike on Twitter at mmercado2333 and on Instagram, Mike Mercado2333. If you would like to support Mercado Airwaves, visit us at patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves. Find us on iTunes at Mercado Airwaves. Keep up to date with the show on Facebook at Mercado Airwaves.
You can see all of Nicole's work at typingwhentipsy.wordpress.com. You can follow Alex on Twitter at Mercado21Alex.
Follow Mike on Twitter at mmercado2333 and on Instagram, MikeMercado2333.
What's up, friends? Mike here from Mercado Airwaves. If you missed any one of our past interviews with amazing guests like future Hall of Famer and pound for pound best fighter in the world, UFC flyweight champion Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson,
It's another day at the office. I get to go out there and test my skill.
to award-winning producer, director, and actor Orlando Jones,
Orlando, how you doing,
How
buddy?
you, sir? I'm good, brother. How you doing?
and all the other interesting guests we've had on. Joining us today is director and writer David Ferrier.
Thanks so much, brother. I appreciate you having me on the show.
MMA legend Chael Sonnen joins us today.
Keep listening to your show. This is great. Thanks, my friend.
Just subscribe to us on iTunes at Mercado Airwaves. And while you're there, please like, review, and rate us, friends. It helps so much. We also have a Patreon for anyone who would like to support the show. Just visit us at patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves and see how you can get all of our interviews ad-free and before anyone else, and how you can get your business or company spotlighted on the show. Follow us on Twitter at mmercado2333. Like us on Facebook at Mercado Airwaves. Subscribe to us on YouTube, youtube.com/MikeMercado2333. And if you would like to see what we're up to behind the scenes, follow us on Instagram, MikeMercado2333. Thanks for listening and all the support.